Hey everybody, we are back once again doing lollipop trees. So this is just going to be your basic tree, and to start off you're going to make almost a wiggly fork. So these are going to be your branches and your tree trunk. So there's no specific way to do this, no rhyme or reason starting off. Now when you're little or younger, a lot of times teachers are going to have you make lollipop trees, and these are the trees that have the big loops for their leaves, just like this. And this is a legitimate tree. However, they don't generally look exactly like this. So we're going to try to make it look a little bit more realistic for this drawing. And from those initial lines, decide which spot's going to be your light side and dark side. And you want to have a shadow on the darker area. And filling in some of those branches. And if you want to add more, you definitely can, or make your trunk a little bit wider. Remember, it's always going to be wider at the base. And no tree's going to look the same, so you don't have to worry about that. Generally, they grow different depending on the weather, or where the wind hits them, or if the squirrels are being mean. No, I'm just kidding. But all the trees are going to look different depending on how they grow. So there's no rhyme or reason here. Just kind of filling in where I want. Get some really dark values in certain spots. And don't forget to have your highlights as well. You don't want to just fill it in, because then it'd come across as a little bit flat. After this, a lot of the tree within the leaves, the lollipop aspect, is going to be shading. And I do have a drawing pencil. This is just a very dark lead. And you can get this dark with a regular pencil. It's just a lot more difficult. So I'm going to use a 6B, it's called, drawing pencil, just to get some really dark values in there. And I'm just kind of scribbling them in. Nothing too specific. And I'm using a regular pencil because I don't want the full swoop to stay for my lollipop aspect. I want it to look a little more realistic. There's going to be dark values in a variety of spots. If it makes it easier, you can always erase your original lollipop lines and fill it in with a pencil. These are just values. I'm redefining some aspects of my trunk and branches. And if you want, you can use a blending stump to soften some of your areas up. The 6B drawing pencil is going to have a little harsher lead, so sometimes it doesn't blend quite as easily, just depending on how hard I'm pressing. And I'm just going back in and filling in values. So my highlights and my lowlights, my shadows. And I don't want to be very uniform when I'm shading, except for if I'm doing some grass, so establishing land, so my tree doesn't look like it's floating. But as you do your leaves, make sure you're not being too much the same, because they are leaves, so they're going to grow in different directions. Closer to the branches is generally going to be darker, because you don't see as much, so there'll be more leaves. And further out, there's going to be more space between them. And I did this on the same page as my mountains, just because I'm doing it more of an exercise as opposed to creating a landscape. But if I wanted, I could add some different aspects to this and create a full drawing. And I would do that working with perspective, but that's something we'll talk about later. Just adding a few more lines, and I can say I got a tree.